Now, you know, the media made such a big deal about the twerk concert that went on earlier this week. Yeah, they said we'd be real nervous about packing this joint out. So I told the campaign, y'all, I did. I told the campaign, I said, I can get out there and twerk for these folks. They said, not only do we not need you to twerk, but let me tell you something. Donald Trump has never needed a gimmick to draw a crowd.
So the media is hard at work trying to generate all of this fake enthusiasm and excitement behind Kamala Harris. You know, she had a rally recently, and at all her little events, they're turning them into rap concerts where people are showing up to see the performers, and by the time Kamala takes stage, a lot of them are leaving. So they're, you know, kind of influencing people to come into these Kamala Harris speeches by dangling, hey, you're going to have Cardi B, or we're going to have Meg Thee Stallion, or hey, we're going to have the Migos, or some insert rapper name here. And that's how they're drawing in some of these crowds. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris, for the most part, is MIA. Ever since they announced that she is the official nominee, she has yet to do a single interview. And what they're going to do, they're going to use a similar strategy that they use with Joe Biden, which is what I would call the basement strategy. They're going to keep Kamala away from the media, away from interviews, away from cameras and a microphone as much as possible. Because when the woman opens her mouth, she's not only unlikable, she's obviously low IQ. So, you know, they're generating all of this fake hype, but it's not real. And you can tell it's not real because you don't notice the hype in real life. You see it sometimes on social media. You see it on the mainstream media, but no one's genuinely excited. Now, there was another event in Atlanta for Kamala Harris recently, held by Jasmine Crockett. I'm sure a lot of you all know her. Well, let's just say this. When they don't invite a bunch of Grammy Award-winning artists to perform beforehand, not many people are showing up to these Kamala Harris events. I want you to look at this sad excuse of a speech that happened. They couldn't fill an arena. They couldn't really draw a crowd. So they literally resorted to having this speech outside in front of like 15 people at Panera Bread or something. Let's watch.
Here is not enough for y'all to show up and vote. It's going to take everybody in this fight. And we cannot be deterred for any reason. Because if Project 2025 comes to pass,
say it.
I really don't know where we will be, if we will be anywhere. If Trump is allowed to get any more Supreme Court justices, I'm trying to tell y'all, ain't nobody safe. We have seen what this current Supreme Court has done. He absolutely plans to put 2 more on the Supreme Court. We cannot afford to go through another generation of this kind of hate. We need court reform right now when it comes to the Supreme Court.
So, folks, this is what a Kamala Harris event looks like when you don't have Meg Thee Stallion and you don't have a bunch of people twerking and partying. And I'm not convinced that half the people out there were really out there for the event. They were probably trying to eat their half a soup or half a sandwich and soup or whatever the combo is at Panera Bread lately. And Jasmine Crockett walks up and starts talking about Kamala Harris. But if you notice, there's all of this fear-mongering constantly about Project 2025. And it's funny because they're trying to so key in on and focus on that, because if they actually focus on Trump's real policies, they know that they actually sound good. So they're going after Project 2025, which Donald Trump has already stated multiple times has nothing to do with him. And he's not lying when he says that. It really has nothing to do with him. But they're going after on Project 2025, using that as a boogeyman. And the people who, you know, are following up with this are brainwashed by this nonsense. And they're actually scared. I can confirm there's a lot of sheep out here that are freaked out about Project 2025. Now, most of them have no idea what it actually is. They didn't read it, and if they did, they probably would come to the conclusion that, wait, this isn't as scary as I thought. But this is their boogeyman talking point. They can't argue against Trump. They can't argue against Trump's policies. Kamala doesn't even talk about the policies of her own. She just brings rappers out. So what they're going to do is they're going to find some random crap online, which is what Project 2025 is. They find some random thing online and then they launch an attack at that and try to connect it to Trump in any way possible. But it just goes to show how desperate they are. And if anyone actually puts thought into it, instead of just going along with the crowd, you would realize, hey, wait, these people aren't really attacking Trump and what Trump has to say, because most people would agree with what Trump is saying right now. So they're going after stuff that has nothing to do with him. Meanwhile, Trump is targeting Kamala and what she's been doing in the White House for the last 4 years, which has been horrible. She's basically been MIA, but the things that she was in charge of and responsible for, she did a terrible job at that. But for now, let me know your thoughts down below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell. And if you find yourself getting too worked up by all of this, remember, it's just political cinema.